there. If you want to call in and listen live, you can. If you want to be a part of this rant, we're going to be ranting over social media. I have no problems with social media. Obviously, as you can tell, see, I'm here live. I'm with you. We're connected. And my history with social media. Let me start off with how I really feel about social media. Social media has become like a cesspool of just trolls and idiots who want to tell you that you're an idiot if you don't immediately agree with them. People who sometimes, like me, I'm guilty of this myself, but mostly people who come to the table and they immediately want you to agree with them. And if you don't agree with them, then you can just jump off a bridge. You can do whatever. And the bad thing about social media, the funny thing about the internet and in general, it's a device that has enslaved us, and at the same time, if we cut the cord, we would freak out. We're all victims of it, and we are powerless to stop it. Social media is the next generation, the spawn of everything that is on the internet, and it's just been a bloodbath ever since. It's always the things in life that's supposed to be the most beautiful, the thing that's supposed to make life easier, that becomes the thing that's like a bitter pill. So if you're out there, if you agree, if you think for 1 second that life is going to be like a box of chocolates because social media is out there, or the internet itself is out there, I mean, hey, more power to you. But if you try to get out there like me, if you put yourself out there, as you know, as you may or may not know, again, Chris Fagan, this is the Rant Over Show. If you know any little bit about me, you know that I do a little thing on the side called T3 Medias. That's talking through the medias. Originally talking through the movies. I do a lot of movie shows, and then Sean, my co-host, and I, and Michael Chu, we all talk about movies mostly. But we talk about a lot of things. We talk about media as a whole. That's why we moved from talking to the movies to talking to the medias, because we like to talk about it all, mostly movies. Now, let's talk about, we come into social media. You get your YouTube channel, you put yourself out there, you're immediately an idiot, a loser, a guy who's out there just wasting people's time, wasting people's money. You got people out there just want to attack, just because you're breathing, just because you're out there trying. I'm not the best YouTuber in the world, but damn, at least I'm trying. You know how many times I get trolled by a guy with like 2 subscribers and says, man, your videos suck. Yeah, I know my videos suck. But you're not the guy that's going to criticize me. I mean, that's what social media has become. Social media has become the land of lost, the land of lost souls, the land where you can just be anonymous, just stay anonymous and attack. Just stay anonymous. And that's not the way it always used to be. Social media used to be a beautiful thing where you could just be a little creep and a freak anonymously and just look up some stuff before the internet really was regulated or ruled. But I'm not going to get into that because I'm a father. But like a lot of things, and pardon me for the pause, I'm still getting myself connected and jacked in. Things change, things evolve, things get better, things get worse. I have a friend of mine who is a jack of all trades. He's very good with the computers, and he's a guy who knows his stuff. He's and the reason why I'm inviting him to talk with me on this is because, 1, I don't like to be alone, and 2, he knows a lot about a little and a little about a lot of things. And this will be the first time that I'm actually going to just patch somebody in mid-episode. So I'm hoping that this works out. Might be a disaster, but let's see what happens. All right. Now, so Joe, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
There you go. There we go. We have I want to introduce you to a buddy of mine. We're gonna call him just Joe Schmo, just an average Joe, your average Joe Schmo. And
sounds about right.
He's a good friend of mine, and he's been anonymous out there in the internet for years. He's been off the grid for years. You don't know where he's at. You will never find him. Joe is always watching. He is the faithful eye in the sky, watching our every move. Now that's not a bad thing. He's not. Don't let me scare you. And he's not like some kind of creeper or nothing like that. He's a guy who just sees things differently. And his opinion. Me and Joe have butt heads a lot. We've been friends for a long time. We've had like 3 fist fights, and we always kiss and make up.
All right, there you go.
But Joe, so the topic of today is social media. First, let's talk about a little bit about who you are, whatever you want to share, and let's get your opinion about social media.
My name is Joseph Perez. I don't know if that really matters. I don't mind putting my name out there. Live in the Houston area, actually the Clear Lake, I guess, area more so. I've been here all my life. Good friends with Chris. We've known each other for about 5 years. We actually met through work. We were both real estate agents. I recently became a broker and just still in real estate, just like Chris, and that's about it. We play a number of games.
On video games. Video games.
Video
games. I want to be clear.
Excuse me. Let me clarify that. I've been part of his clan, which is a gaming community that we do online through Xbox Live,
exactly.
Call of Duty, and that's about it. But here, I was actually listening in. I caught a little bit of the tail end. So I guess if you want to just continue, I can, just.
Well, okay. I'll start off with my experience with the internet and social media before we get to the present and the past. I'm a part of Generation X, and like a lot of great Americans out there, greatest generation in the world. I'm sorry. We had grunge music, we had gangster rap, and we are responsible for Eminem. That being said, we are also the generation that spawned America Online. And before all this MySpace, Facebook, all these things, America Online was it. That was the thing. You had your chat rooms. You had all kinds of weird. You had your instant messages. You didn't just message somebody. You instant messaged them. And back then we were saying everything. We weren't coding anything. It wasn't go to such and such.com. We would say it's on the World Wide Web. And it's www.blablabla.com. And later, a couple of months ago, I found out that the .com stands for commercial. I didn't know that. .biz, .gov, that's what they're short for, commercial. Okay, who knew? But social media to me started on AOL. With those chat rooms, you meet people. Before Craigslist and all that stuff, before it got weird, your sickies were all on America Online, and they dominated. That was when it was brand new and nobody knew how sick people were and before all the regulations. Did you ever use AOL, Joe?
I did, and that was probably one of my first milestones as a kid. I remember I had a friend of mine, her name was Lily, and we grew up together, and she actually brought that to my attention. I had a desktop computer. We were kids. This was probably like, I guess, 94, 95, somewhere in there, mid-90s. And she said, let me show you this thing I have. It's America Online. It's like an internet browser, and you can get on, and then you can actually chat with people. And I said, chat with people? Like, what do you mean? She was like, yeah, you can chat with people in the state of Texas, around the world. And I was like mind blown. I was like, oh, my God, I never thought that would be possible. And you just type away, and then maybe a few months after that, we got one too on the Windows 95 that we had, and man, it was awesome. Just talking to different people. I remember talking to people in Japan and Germany, or at least up to a certain point, but just meeting people. I think on the social aspect, with women, I was maybe about 14 at the time, but
If
it
they're
was
talking to like
definitely
30-year-olds that didn't care.
yeah, right. I think the ability of being whoever you wanted to be was a pretty cool idea too. But I met a few. I think I actually had my first online girlfriend, and her name was Joanna. Hope my fiance is not listening, but I believe she was from New Jersey. I have this immaculate memory, so I have to excuse me for that. But yeah, I think my first online girlfriend stemmed from AOL, so it was definitely a roller
Were you both
coaster
the
of
same
fun.
age, or was she committing a felony?
No. I mean, I assumed she was the same age. I mean, she told me she was. I don't think we ever chatted on the phone because, that was when long distance charges still counted. So, and there wasn't really I mean, there were cell phones, but not as common. And so we just chatted on the phone. I mean, through the internet. But it was fun. I remember having like these sound bites too. A lot of references we had for sound bites were like from The Simpsons. You would type in like a special character, and then
And
while
it would
you're
push
in the
that
chat
sound
room,
out. Yeah.
yeah, it would push that sound out where there'd be like Homer giving his catchphrase or from a movie, a famous line from a movie or whatever. So I remember having those little sounds. I forgot how we got them. It's just there's certain things I can remember, but I do recall the sound bites. So I thought that was a pretty good spin on it. But AOL, I mean, it lasted for me probably until my late 90s, the late 90s. And then after that, I think Yahoo was the next phase for me. After that.
Oh yeah, it got to the point where things became free. It was to a point where it was like, why are you paying for an email address with AOL when Yahoo's out there for free? And
right.
It was a power struggle for a while, but then after a while, AOL had to stop charging, and then everything just at the turn of the century is when everything started getting nuts. What about any crazy experience as we transition to the Facebook, the MySpace era? Any crazy?
Not really. I mean, Yahoo was actually my first email address that I remember having too, and going through the chat rooms, meeting people. It was kind of the same thing. I think once I did transition to MySpace, that's where it got a little serious because I was meeting a lot of people. I was meeting a lot of people.
Why did it sound like you just
from...
put air quotes on that word? People.
I was meeting a lot of, I guess it doesn't matter. I was meeting a lot of women on MySpace, and wow, I mean, that was
Did
definitely.
you just have a moment where you like literally just thought about it, like, wow?
Yeah, it was something. I mean, it was my history, it was my past, whatever. So it's not a big deal. I'm sure like I said, my fiance won't hear this, so it's okay. But I mean.
Yeah, I'm not emailing this link to everybody out there right now. No, don't worry about it. But no, I know exactly what you mean. But everything, I said, to me, I feel like everything just got crazy after the year 2000, and people started. I don't know. You started seeing things on the news where people were. I don't know. They using the anonymous thing where predators would start doing crazier things, and all of a sudden there's this big stigma on using chats and stuff like that, where people were just being people, and now people are being pervs. Everybody is a potential perv now, or the internet is making us that way. I mean, what is us being more social, and then we ironically becoming less social in our day-to-day. You have these shut-ins and stuff. People like they can socialize easier online versus face-to-face and whatnot. People this catfish people is something that's spawned from social media.
It seems easier for people to text. A lot of people my age still prefer the phone calls from time to time, but it's kind of like most of them have conformed to texting because it's all stem, from social media, so it's, used to typing and texting, and you can get, I guess, more emotion out of it somehow by having more things to say, typing and not being pressured into constantly, having a phone conversation. But I've even noticed
you keep that screen
world,
between you and the other person, and it's like you can do it. It's like almost like putting a mask on. You can go out, you're wearing a mask, they can't see you, and it gives you the courage to, do anything. You can rob any bank you want.
Right. Yeah. I mean, even like I said with the real estate world, I mean, a lot of agents that I work with, other agents, they prefer texting. Even some of the clients that I work with, especially I would say at least one under the age of 35 on average, in the 20s and early 30s, prefer the texting. Some of the older generation people that I deal with, do still prefer the phone call. They feel they can get things done faster by speaking with someone. So it's, we're kind of caught in the middle where we can easily sway one way or the other. I mean, even myself, I admit that I'm more of a texter now than anything. I'll call, I'll talk to my fiance on the phone, but, everyone else, I, pretty much text, so.
What was the, I think we were talking about something a while ago. Oh, man, it's slipped my mind. I won't try to, I'm not going to waste time trying to remember, but let me go into a story for me. What do you think about, like, the way things have progressed? Like, you see things like on TV, like to Catch a Predator, or you see the people who, we just recently had an election, and people on Facebook are losing their mind. I mean, one of the things that's my pet peeve is because I'm a man of faith, and one thing that really will that rub me the wrong way is a person throughout the years will be they'll portray themselves in public about being like a person of faith, and you're supposed to love your fellow man and do this and do that. Disagree with them politically, and online they turn into a different person. They're retweeting or sharing hateful things like, I mean, just the most ugliest stuff that you can think of. It's like, and then the second it all calms down, it's like they're back to, love your fellow man and all. It's things like that just kills me. And I'm guilty of it sometimes, and I apologize.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are like that in their own way, whether it's more severe or not. But I think it's just a way of ranting or expressing their way, or just kind of, just expressing their thoughts and feelings and everything, as opposed to maybe something far worse. But it's all words. I mean, there's a lot, like you said, you can be anyone and do anything when you're behind the computer texting or sharing away or whatever. But then if it really came down to it, face to face, it probably wouldn't be obviously the same way, so
yeah. I mean,
in a way,
even online when we're playing the
people can.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say real quick. In a way, it's kind of good because people online can kind of get their frustrations and everything out, as opposed to other means, other different means of doing it. So
a social purge?
Possibly, but there's no casualties involved, so why not?
Please. I mean, and that depends. I mean, you hear those stories like a few times, once, at least a couple of times a year maybe, where some kid, like some young dude or whatever, he or she will end it all because of trolling or something.
True.
Like, you got young kids
or being
that can't
cyberbullied or something like that.
You can't control their emotions and whatnot.
Right.
And from kids to women that are in their 40s or 50s. Jones from Saturday Night Live had to shut her Twitter down for a while because of just relentless trolling. For what? Because she made a movie.
Yeah, I guess that gives people. I guess it's like a power trip for people who have no control or don't, really have a voice. So their way of turning that or making it something better for themselves is by putting other people down, or hacking their accounts or trolling people, or just to lift themselves up, because they have no other way of doing it. Obviously, from a physical standpoint, there's no way or connection. So the only thing they have is social media to use that for. But then you get into the part where some people feel like things are, everyone has to walk on eggshells now. It seems like, I don't know if it's always been that way, but at least for the last 10 years, maybe 5 years more so, that you have to be careful with what you say because you're going to offend someone or their beliefs or their thoughts or their feelings or whatever. So it's like it's almost like we have to red tape everything. And I don't know, I kind of disagree with that. I think people should say what they want because that's the whole point of freedom of speech, right? But maybe to a certain extent where it's not I don't know,
Well,
immature
we all
or,
have freedom of speech, but then there's also freedom of to respond. I mean, that response might not be 100% legal, but you're opening yourself up to a response. If at the very least, you're opening yourself up to a response. You tell me exactly what's on your mind, then you've invited me to share my opinion. And if you disagree with it, I mean, that should be okay. But online,
right?
it's not okay. You don't think the
Yeah,
way I think, then I'm gonna destroy you. I don't want you to live. I don't want you to exist. These people can't control themselves. I mean, and they, like you said, like we said earlier, they're empowered by that. What's the word? Anonymous anonymity, and they're you can't be seen. They can't be touched. So they feel invincible. And every now and
right.
then, some of these people are exposed. It's funny how when when you see a person that's like a professional troller or something like that, they get caught off guard when somebody identifies them or finds out who they are. The hell, South Park is doing a whole arc this season about this very topic where trolls, internet trolls, have all been exposed. Anything you've ever said online, you can be identified, and it all comes out. It's like a whole backlash is happening. It's like on the news, it's like, well, Tom, in such and such Arkansas, the divorce has skyrocketed to 100% now that all these men have found out about what they've really been doing online and stuff like that. It's just the funniest thing.
Like an Ashley Madison scandal.
Yeah, exactly. Like your Ashley Madison scandal. I think there's another site that's recently just been hacked, and people's like man, it's crazy. How much you hit another topic right there. You have all these sites, and you have people who are they're doing things that they have no business doing, or for whatever the reason that they're doing it, and
Right.
and you take the risk of being exposed, especially if you're a high profile person. If you're a person that's like a head of a company or this or that and the other, could you imagine if the executive producer of Walt Disney was some kind of Ashley Madison trolling creeper from
Right.
another dimension? I mean, and then we immediately go on the attack. You see these chat rooms, you see these comment sections, these blogs, all of this stuff. The second the red meat is thrown out there and somebody's exposed, even if that would-be troller or attacker, that anonymous attacker, is probably guilty of doing the exact same thing. They feel so righteous and powerful that they're going to judge and talk down to that person who's been put out there and exposed. So, but you think that that's part of that goes into the whole freedom of the speech thing, how we treat each other, as far as being what you think we're too politically correct?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think with the whole Ashley Madison, they kind of got a pass on that, because once the people who hacked it or exposed those people who were a part of it, they found out that there were a lot more men than women. And
I
yeah,
think one of the it's like what, 90-10% ratio or something.
Yeah,
like that.
90-10. So it was almost to a point where some men were probably talking to other men and didn't even know it. And then the fact that it was so widespread, I was like, wow. I mean, I know the divorce rate is like over 50% now, but a lot of these people were being really, I guess, tricky about it by using prepaid cards as opposed to their own credit card, which was, I guess, kind of smart. But
how are you going to come on the Rant Over show and just teach people how to do it?
I'm not teaching people. There's articles out there.
No, you're just like the local news, the local media and stuff. Are your kitchen appliances a bomb waiting to happen? We'll teach you how that could be in the next 10 minutes.
The guy and the devil's advocate, so I'll play both sides. How about that?
Right.
But I mean, personally, not for me. My fiance would kill me, and plus, obviously, I'm not going to do that. But I mean, the people who do, I mean, I guess they kind of went about it, a smarter way. But at the same time, like you said earlier, if you're a higher official or something, you're taking that much more risk, because you're like a public figure,
Wiener.
so they expect you to walk a straight line and, not have any, anything on your background or, nothing, so it's a little bit different for people like that. But yeah, I remember I think the stat was on that real quick was, I think there was one like in every zip code in the U.S. except for like 3, a registered user, and I was like, wow, that is just insane.
So
I
there's
just
3.
thought that was
Okay,
so
so
unreal.
out of the billions of people that we have in this country, there's 3 zip codes where either there's like no one living there, or there's no internet.
Right.
This is probably what
Right.
what is those that
Yeah.
lifestyle is it not Utah? What is it? Amish. There's probably those Amish paradises out
Right,
there.
they were doing a good job. I mean, I could be wrong. I could be misquoting here, so I apologize if I am. But I know that it was so widespread that it was only not found in a few areas in the U.S. So I
Make
just
it sound
thought
like an
that I
infection.
guess at least where internet was available. So I just thought that was crazy.
Dang. Well, I don't know. With all that, I don't know the way the world is. I mean, what do you think as far as the future? What is are we lost? Is it hopeless? I mean, you got all these wackadoos out there. Just I don't know what's going on with the world, man. With social media, it can be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. I mean, a lot of people get out there. You see.
I mean, it did all start with the U.S. government, so maybe it could end with the U.S. government. It could be like something like China, where they just completely ban everything, or they start putting restrictions. So instead of it just being like restrictions for your kids, it's restrictions for everyone who uses the internet. I don't know. Like you can say certain things, do certain things. I mean, I don't think it would. I'm just keeping an open mind. I mean, I'm sure
freedom
it won't
I don't know.
get to that.
Freedom of the press, man. That's probably why you'll never really restrict the internet, because what if the story turns into what if it's some person like me? What if it's a guy that's just blogging and I'm just reporting what I feel are the facts, reporting exactly what happened, and because the story itself is racy or controversial, because that's what the story is. Do we censor it because it's that? But and we can't share that, we can't tweet that. Well, no, if it's the truth, if it's what happened, if it's a story. Like for example, let's say if the current or the next president had a huge like sex scandal and whatnot, and the internet is already being filtered out and whatnot. We can't talk about sex. You can't curse. You can't do this. You can't do. They've totally censored the internet. And then our leaders have done something like that on that level, like they're, I don't know, doing crazy stuff that you immediately can't share the story because of the content. That's why I don't think the internet will ever be limited like it is in China and Korea and whatnot. But because of freedom of the press thing and First Amendment, but with great power comes great responsibility, and because of the fact that we are the land of the free, we become on the internet the land of the freaks. It's just what it is.
Right. Yeah. That is very true. I mean, I'm actually surprised no one has done a, especially with everyone being so upset with the whole Donald Trump thing, that they, I guess the hackers of the U.S., at least the top ones, haven't tried to take over the system. Kind of like on that Live Free or Die Hard movie, where it was like a fire starter, and they basically hacked into the whole U.S., starting with the Pentagon to the grid system, and had complete control of everything, because they were just tired of the way their government was being ran. But
give it time. I mean, he's still just the president-elect. no, I don't think that'll ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think
that'll 40
ever
days.
happen. We got. Hey, I don't think it'll ever happen. I mean,
these protests and everything, they're not going to last that long. I think the media has a way of magnifying it more than what it is, just like they do with a lot of things. But I think it'll all go away. Before
this, it was the Tea Party. Before the Tea Party, it was something else. I mean, but the difference is this time around. I mean, like social media has become a lot stronger. I mean, it's not just on Facebook; it's Twitter, it's Instagram, all these things, and the information is. You thought that because of the invention of the internet that this information gets out there fast. Before, it's like 140 characters. Boom, the whole world is exposed to something. and it spreads like wildfire. That's something the phrase "what going viral" didn't exist really in online. It was something that
Right.
if something went viral, that meant that there was an epidemic out there, like Ebola was about to come out and get you.
Right.
But nowadays,
Exactly.
it's just information. But are we exposing our kids too much? Now you're a family man now, man. I mean, what are we exposing our kids to? I constantly think about my little ones all the time when it's their turn, when they get when they're asking for that cell phone or that car to get online, things that we didn't have to worry about when we were little. You know, now
Right.
back then I would just snatch you up out of an ice cream truck. Nowadays they're online and they're convincing you to come over, and that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, my little ones, they're in the tablet stage, but with like YouTube, I have YouTube for kids with
Mm-hmm.
restrictions. So she's not able to see anything and everything, and so I think, I'm not saying it's a template for all children, but you kind of teach them, I guess the values of what's right and wrong, and then also exposing them to what is wrong, at least from a strong censored standpoint, but kind of letting them know the difference. But um, there's only so much you can do, because with the way kids are now, just not only your children, but other children they go to school with have the same access
Mm-hmm.
at home and probably are a lot more lenient. So what they learn through their peers at school is another thing too, you know. And I think, I mean, at least it seems that way now that all these kids are growing up in the digital age. They've become exposed to a lot more, which can really kind of take a turn for the worse. With some of these kids, with the bullying and everything. At least it seems like it's more. It can occur more often now than it did when we were growing up.
Yeah, we
Because of
can
everything that
overhearing
they're
about it
exposed
more.
to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
I don't know. I feel sorry for and it makes it can be a great thing. I mean, you see your stories like, for example, Justin Bieber. He was when he was a kid, he just put a video out there on YouTube. Boom, he became a megastar. Then look what happened. I mean, things started going, started turning, and he starts acting crazy and whatnot because maybe he was exposed to it too soon, too fast. It was too much. And maybe that's what social media is sometimes. It can be that. It can be too soon, too fast, too much. It's all at the same time. It's always on. When you're sleeping, your phone is downloading stuff all the time. I don't want to be a conspiracy theory guy, but hey, I mean, I wear tinfoil every day, so my phone won't affect me
Right.
every day.
Yeah, I got mine right here next to me. But yeah, I think just him growing up at a certain. I mean, you got to look back at how you were, or even how I can recall how I was. At that time to be exposed to that much fame and fortune and have all this decisions, based on me. I mean, that's a lot to take in, and I can kind of see where, why he kind of took the turn that he did. Not to say that every, teenager would probably or adolescent would go through that, but it was kind of his path. But
Right.
I mean, that's a lot.
I want to
You
see.
don't have anyone to manage you, because I don't think he really had anyone managing him at that point. At least not his.
Right. Well, his
I don't
mom,
think
I
his
think.
parents were too involved. Right.
But I want to see what I'm gonna get another opinion about this. There's somebody else that's here now. Now I don't know if the listener, if you want to chime in on this, but if you do, I'm about to go to another line, introduce myself to you, see if you're ready to join the conversation and rant about whatever you want to rant about. I don't care if it's off the topic. Go ahead and just let me know. So I'm gonna chime you in, see if you can introduce yourself and. Hey, hello. This is Chris with Rant Over
This
Show.
is Heath. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, brother? Did you want to
Hey,
chime in about social media and how awesome it is that we're all connected to them?
I don't know if it's awesome or not, but this is going to a whole new level, man, with people in power using tweet and Facebook and everything that they're doing to say whatever they want, no matter if it's a lie or if it's the truth, and they're just throwing it out there because they're not saying it to your face, so you can't see it in their eyes that they're lying to you. And then it's like they don't have to worry about it if they're behind a Twitter account or Facebook. They can just say whatever they want, and then when you go back to fact check everything, half the stuff they say is wrong, and then they can say, oh well, you can't trust the media or the internet because everybody lies. So
by the time you've already fact checked it, it's already too late. It's already gone out there.
There's a lot of places that just are fake, and they just get out there to get paid, and profiting off the internet and the media, and you got to watch out for your kids, man, because you put your kids on the internet or the media and do homework or whatever, and then they pick up new words the next week, and you're like, where'd you hear that from? Oh, I was on the net, or they tell you something that that isn't true, and you say, where'd you find that out? And they show you, or and kids at school are talking about the same thing. It's a problem when you got the president-elect just doing whatever he wants to do, saying whatever he wants to say, not giving a damn about who hears it, who doesn't hear it, or even if it's right or wrong. That's the thing is, you got kids. It's your responsibility to get on the internet and to tell these kids, no matter how old they are. My son's 21 years old, and he knows when he's being bullshitted. If I can say that, I'm sorry. But most of these problems, man, you got to start teaching your kids early these days. We didn't have these problems
earlier.
Right. That's very true.
I mean, if you're sitting here because you knew you were taught properly, raised properly, or to treat everybody equally, and to respect women and people of other races and religions, and you do anything for them because that's how you want to be treated. And not now. You look at Facebook now, and it's like it's like anybody who has ever been hurt or felt like they've been done over. Now they're on the Facebook trying to blame somebody else and say, there's a cat on here the other day. It's a brother talking about being pro-Trump and talking about how, it's our turn now. We're going to take over, and if you protesters are out there protesting, breaking things, we're going to get you. I'm like, what? We're talking about living each day right now, trying to react and for everything that's going on in the last couple of days with the politics. We're trying to regroup, and you got these cats on here taking the advantage of the timing to get on there and talk trash and and tell us how it's going to be when either they weren't brought up properly or they have no idea what they're talking about, but the media is right there to go, hey, look, I can jump on here and talk trash about anybody, and I won't be held accountable.
Right.
That's the problem with the media. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. And I'm probably going to go to another person soon, but I appreciate it, Heath. Let me go back to Joe. So I'll put you back on listen, and I'm gonna take it to Joe. Joe, what do you think about what Heath said about that?
He was right on a lot of those points. I mean, we're in a society now where you're allowed to, do and say anything you want as long as you can, come back. I mean, you see a lot of these people who, especially in politics, they'll say a lot of things that are really bad, and then they'll come back and they'll apologize. I mean, really, I guess on a celebrity level too, they'll go off and they'll say something they may not necessarily mean, but it's kind of like, well, not everybody, but it's like the mindset for those who do. It's like, well, I'm just gonna say it even though I mean it, and then I'm gonna apologize even though I don't mean that either, And it's like, with that, and then everything that's going on, you there's a lot of consequences behind the things you say on social media and the way you stir people or influence people one way or the other. I mean, I know there's some positive, twist on the social media, but it seems like there's a lot more negative things out there now. And, I mean, he's right. I mean, there's really not much more I can add. I mean, he was on point with a lot of what he said, so I completely agree with what he said.
Yeah, you get to a point where you can say whatever you want to say, and you do whatever you want to do. And I urge everybody, even if you're not really like a South Park fan and whatnot, like some people. And it's not that if you don't like the show, then you just quote unquote don't get it. Like sometimes it's just some stupid jokes on there too. But if you are a fan, sometimes you can see what they really try to do in each episode. There's really some intelligence woven under all the poop and fart jokes. But when like I was talking about this season, and I urge everybody to, if you haven't started watching South Park this season, or if you're not a fan of it, I urge you to force yourself to watch it at least from the beginning of this season to where it's at today. There's another new episode coming on tonight, or it should be on right now, and it's about trolls and how we talk to each other and exposing these things, and people who feel like empowered. As one person in particular who doesn't take responsibility of the stuff that he's saying, even when he causes nothing but pain and the death of some people because of bullying and trolling. And he's just like, hey, I just want to feel like a kid again, and I want to laugh. But when you get to that point where you mentally disassociate yourself and you can't empathize with another person because your entertainment is more important, then and let the table turn to that exact same person. Let the exact same thing happen to somebody that they love or to them. And then it's a whole different story. Then it's, why me? Why are you doing this to me? And every time, his eyes are always exposed. I feel like it's the Kim Kardashian effect. Can you tell me, Joe, why is Kim Kardashian famous? I mean, why? Well, what did she really do besides the tape that got out at first? And now she's like a mogul. She's got all these brands and all this other stuff. I mean, why is she famous? Because of social media. She's famous because she's famous for being famous. I mean, and that's not real fame. That's not. What did she really contribute to earn that?
Yeah.
Fame? So all you have to do nowadays is just go viral. Sometimes I feel like it's good. Sometimes it's bad. You had to what's her name? The Chewbacca mom. She got famous for her 15 minutes, but she was in and out. So things like that I feel are cool. But then you have these other people.
Well, that's more like a phase, though. You'll have, just like with these challenges that they do on Facebook or, stuff like that, they'll last for, a few weeks to a few months. And then, like the mannequin challenge is the big thing right now. And then I think another one.
To tell you guys on that. It's not that challenge isn't real. Your internet's weak. You're buffering. Those people didn't stop.
You're buffering.
You're just buffering right now. Your internet sucks, and you need to get more bandwidth. There's nobody doing those mannequin challenges.
I don't know. I heard the new one is the Andy challenge is the new one from one of my cousins who's still in high school. She told me this past weekend when I went over there for a birthday party. And I said, what's the Andy challenge? She said, well, it's based off the Toy Story. So when someone walks in, you and whoever's in the room with you are the toys. So then you play dead.
You just plop down and play dead.
Exactly. And I'm like,
That's
oh,
funny.
my God, what are these kids come up with these days?
All right. Well, do the Andy challenge in front of me. Now go right into your back pants pocket, take your wallet, take your money out, go buy myself a bagel. Then I'll let you just whine about it when I leave the room. So there. Do the Andy challenge in front of me and see what happens. But what, all these challenges.
I mean, I know the X generation is, of course, obviously I'm a little biased because, I'm a part of that. But, you got to give it to the baby boomers. They're the ones who really set the foundation, I think personally. I mean, a large portion of them still make up the working population or the working percentage, So, I don't know. I mean, there's definitely a lot out there on social media.
Well, usually around this time, because we're about to close the show out, at the end of the episode, what we do every week is we do what Tiff and I call the rant box, where you get to stand on how you stand on a soapbox and you just testify on whatever subject. It doesn't even have to be about the subject that's at hand right now. And matter of fact, we prefer it not to be the exact same topic. We want a rant on something totally off basic, something you've probably been holding in. Now it's up to you. Now this week was not supposed to be my week, but we have a caller, and that's you. So if you want to take advantage of the rant box, I'll give you 5 minutes, and the floor is yours. Or if not, I'll take over.
I'm kind of new to that, so I don't know what I would want to talk about. I mean, I keep it short and sweet. I'm addicted to wild cherry Pepsis and cheeseburgers. I don't know if that's anything special. Maybe you can chime in with the caller that was listening and see if there's something else he wants to say. I know it seemed like he had a lot on his plate. So.
Oh no, he's already he backed out. We have another listener, but I sent the message to see if they want to say anything, but I haven't heard back anything yet. But no, yeah, I mean, chili wild peppers and chili cheese fries is a good thing.
I know that's a very stupid thing.
I know I put you on the
sorry.
spot. I didn't tell you about the rant box, so don't worry about it.
So give me a quick pass at least this time around.
I'm gonna give you a pass on that.
I'll be better.
That was a good try, though.
I'll be better prepared next time.
This episode has been brought to you by Texas Realtors and chili cheese fries. But no, I appreciate you, bro, for co-hosting with me, man. So I'll take it on from here. I'll let you get back to work. This guy Joe, hey, if you need a realtor, if you need some help out there in the the Clear Lake area, call me. And if I'm not available, you can call Joe.
Right.
You
need an apartment, you need a home, whatever you need.
And that's where you can find him. Go to hard.com. Look for Joe Schmo. Oh no, he's with what's the name of your enterprise out there?
So I get a free plug. Okay, it's Realty World Uptown. You can look us up. You can Google us. We're online.
Google it. All right. So we got about to close the show out real quick, Joe. Appreciate you, bro, and I hit you up later. So. That was Joe Perez, ladies and gentlemen, and I appreciate you, man, once again for helping me out. So I guess I'll take over right now for the rant box. It wasn't supposed to be my time. I went last week, but I guess I'm gonna go for it again this time. What do I want to talk about? I mean that makes a difference. That's worthwhile. That's worth anything. Anything. Like I say all the time. I know a lot about a little about a lot of things, but one thing I do know is that I love to I talk to myself a lot. I love to talk to myself. I'm the kind of guy, if I'm alone in the room, or if I'm watching a movie or watching a TV, if I'm out there and I'm getting into, I'm the typical guy that guy in the movie theater that's gonna like scream at the screen. But I don't do that in public. I don't do that in the movie theater. I do that when I'm alone. I still have that active imagination. I'll let something that happened years ago affect me, and I'll act it out again and talk. And then I'll pretend like the person who probably got the better of me that day or that year or whatever, and I'll just go off on a rant. And I'll just I'm saying everything that I should have said, I wanted to say. I'm there. I'm back in time. I'm right back in the moment. I'm that crazy. Everybody says, if you're not crazy if you talk to yourself. You're crazy if you answer yourself. I'm crazier because I'm playing multiple roles. I mean, I'm in a room full of people all by myself, and I'm playing every character. And I'm just talking. I'm having a chess match with me. And I'm just going on a mile a minute. I'm answering for the questions. I'm giving the questions. I'm having a debate. I'm going off on just a tangent. That's why I was perfect for this. That's why the Rant Over Show is like an outlet for me. Now I have an excuse. I'm in this room. I'm all by myself, and I'm just going a mile a minute. And hey, I have an excuse now because I can push this button. It's like when you walk up to a guy and you might give him a tap on the behind. That's not acceptable. You can get hurt doing something like that. You go up to a random guy and you do that, you pat him on the butt like that, and that's a no-no. But follow it with good game, and then it's all right. That's what being a pundit is. That's what being a podcaster is. That's what being a movie reviewer is. You're looking at the camera. You have an excuse to go off and rant and just talk to yourself, because that's what I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. I'm looking at a camera. I'm looking at the microphone. I'm looking at the screen. I'm just going a mile a minute. I'm not really talking about anything, am I? Is anybody even listening? Maybe, maybe not. But they will, or they may. So I have an excuse now. Now I have an outlet. Now I'm like Mr. Ledger said, now I'm always smiling, because now I have an excuse to talk to myself. Well, 1 hour and 1 day, once a week, me being as crazy as I am, to talk to myself is now legitimized, and I'm no longer that nutball in the room by himself, wondering if there's something wrong with something the matter with me. Because I do it every now and then. I will be talking out loud, and I will be having a total conversation with myself, and I will use my Bluetooth headphones as a cover. If I'm caught, if I'm having a conversation with myself, I'm on the phone. I'm just on the phone. I'm not on the phone. I'm never on the phone. I am never on the phone. I'm just letting you know now. Surprise. So if you know me, if you've seen me walking down the street and I'm just going, I don't know what that crap is about. I don't get it. What's the meaning of it? And it's weird. And it used to make sense. It doesn't anymore. It's the system. It's rigged. And then all of a sudden my phone just starts ringing. I'm like, oops, you got me. Surprise. So that's me. That's one little tidbit about Chris I didn't say that the rant box had to be factual. I just said I just have to kill 5 minutes. So is it true? Am I that bonkers? Maybe, maybe not. But like I said, I know a lot about a little and a little about a lot of things. What I do know is we're out of time. This episode has been brought to you by social media. Speaking of social media, you can, if you want to come out and find me, you can always check me out every now and then on YouTube. You have T3 Medias, where me and my friends, we just talk about movies and entertainment, television, and all the stupid stuff in life that just puts a smile on your face and gives you an excuse to just engage in too much popcorn. We go out every now and then. We take in a free movie, we review it, we give our opinions, and we love it. So if you are a movie buff, if you are a movie fan, give us a shout out. It is Talking Through the Medias. Become a subscriber, hit the like button, and you can always find me on Twitter at @TheChris, right here on @RantOverShow, also at T3 Medias, Facebook, and all the other stuff on social media that will eventually become self-aware and become Skynet and take over us all. With that being said, we're out of time. I've already scared off all the listeners and all the sponsors. We lost them in 1 hour, so congratulations to me. Until next time, guys.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be hard. Like early 90s heavy metal hard.
I'm yelling and screaming and I'm loud. Roar!
Geico makes it easy. You can review and update your policy or report a claim on Geico.com or the Geico mobile app. Because shouldn't we all have a little less stress in our lives?
I'm not even upset about anything.
Danny, I just figured out that if I switch to Metro PCS, I get 2 Samsung Galaxy phones free.
Cool, Dad.
And I could be a super dad with 2 free Samsung Galaxy phones and call myself Double Galaxy Man.
Or you could give the second phone to your sidekick.
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
That's right. 2 free Samsung Galaxy On 5 smartphones are all yours when you switch to Metro PCS. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.